Paul, let's come to you first of all, because it's Arsenal. You heard Gary there put 5 past the defending champions, 5 different scorers. Of course they need a striker, don't they?
Yeah, they still need a striker. I think if you look at it, when the game went 1-1, you're sitting there thinking, if Havertz would have scored that chance, you know, the game would have been out of sight at 2-0, in my opinion. So, yeah, obviously they went on and won the game quite convincingly in the end in the last 20, 30 minutes. But it could have easily been the other way. Do you know what I mean? They've got to take them chances. That was a big miss. Natural goal scorer scores that goal. You know, 1 in 2 scores it. I mean, I know Havertz goes and gets his goal, which was harder than that chance. They need a forward. I don't think, unless they get Ollie Watkins, I don't see the point in going and get one. I don't. I might as well wait to the end of the next season. If they go out now and buy Ollie Watkins for, say, 70, 80 million, 200 grand a week, so for the next 6 or 7 months, that's about £3.5 million, £3 million in wages. If Liverpool win their game in hand in a week's time, they're 9 points above them. It doesn't matter if they have who's the best centre. Even if they had Haaland, they wouldn't win the league. You know, 9 points is a lot of points with only how many games left. So for me, unless they get Watkins and it's for the future as well, I wouldn't panic, and then it opens up next season and then go from there, in my opinion.
The striker's not going to make the difference to them potentially winning the league, but maybe actually taking the pressure off Kai Havertz, though, you could say.
Yeah, I agree with Merce. I think it's January genuinely is a reactive market. They needed to be proactive. Everyone knows that Arsenal have needed a centre forward for 2 or 3 years now. They haven't managed to find it. What makes people think they're going to find it in like a couple of hours left of the transfer window? It makes no sense. It makes no sense to go and find someone just for the sake of it, bringing a body in. If it's going to be Tell, then bring him in. No one else has taken Tell. Yeah, perhaps he didn't want to go to Tottenham because towards the bottom of the league. If I was the boy and I wanted to play in the Premier League, I would go to Tottenham because he's got more chance of playing. Even saying that, would he play ahead of Son on the left-hand side? Would he play ahead of Solanke down the middle? I don't think he would. So he's a development player anyway. So that's not going to make too much difference to him. To them to go and sign someone out to make a difference, it's impossible. It's impossible for them to do. Like Merce said, if they win their game in hand, 9 points, it's pretty much done. They've lost 1 game all season, Liverpool. I don't see them going and losing 3 or 4 games, and Arsenal would have to win all their remaining. So keep your powder dry. You know, hopefully the scouts are out there getting busy and sign someone in the summer because you know you're going to need them moving forward.
I think Arsenal would have tried to have been clever and thought they'd have had a sniff on the Duran one. They'd have definitely had a whisper he was going to go there. So they go and bid for Ollie Watkins at 60, and then they give Villa the option. Do you take 60 for a 28, 29-year-old, or do you take the 60 for a 21-year-old? They chose to take the 60 for the 21-year-old. So that tells me about the 21-year-old. Because you keep the 21-year-old and you sell the 28-year-old. Yeah. They're the same price. Mm-hmm. And for me, I think Arsenal have gone like that, and Villa have chose to sell the 21-year-old and not the 28, 29-year-old. So I ain't sure Arsenal will go in again. I don't think they will go in again. Not
only that, we're running out of games, aren't we? You know, for them to win the Premier League. Do you think if he come in at the weekend, Merce, he goes straight into the side? Albeit he's injured anyway. Yeah. He's limped off at half-time against Wolves. It looked like a bad one. We know what it's like. It's right underneath the groin there. That could be 3 or 4 weeks, perhaps a month. You know, a month out of the season. If this man is the one you're going to bring in for all that money to change your fortunes, the season's over by then. Liverpool have already got the trophy above their heads.
And he can't play in the Champions League. He's played for Aston Villa.
But let's pick a player at random, just off the top of my head, per chance. Delap.
No-brainer.
What's Delap's price now, and what's Delap's price if Ipswich go down?
Ooh.
No-brainer for me. Delap in front of Watkins for me, for what they need at the moment, and ahead of Sesko, who they've been touting around for Arsenal as well. This guy now, I think, perhaps, to get him now, and I know Ipswich without Delap pretty much assigned to the Championship next year without him. So they would have to weigh up that, but I think 40 million would get him now, double their money from what they paid off City. 40 million and someone who would get developed under Mikel Arteta. He gives them something different. He is a box player. He can run from deep. He's strong. He holds the ball up. He brings others into play. I think he is an absolute no-brainer. Someone who knows the league Yeah, for me, that is, like you say, they get relegated, someone comes and gets it. Perhaps I still think his value will be up there, Rob, I really do. I think he'd probably be around the same money, 40 million. But I think 40 million is nothing.
Which leads us nicely on to transfers. We've not many days to go before the old window slams shut, as we like to say. Boydie, coming to you first of all. There's been a lot of talk in the last couple of days about a certain Ollie Watkins and a potential possible, maybe a move to Arsenal. The news yesterday, Arsenal rejected a bid. Aston Villa rejected a bid for Arsenal. Ollie Watkins, despite the fact his family support Arsenal, he grew up supporting them as well, says he's happy to stay at Aston Villa. Is that the end of the matter?
No, I don't think it is. I mean, I don't think Arsenal would put themselves in a position where they went out there and went after someone if there wasn't any incline that he was wanting to join them. I think when you look at, obviously John Duran was linked with a few moves before. That's obviously been done now. For me, looking at it, I don't think this one will rumble right onto Monday evening. I can't.
What, do you think Arsenal will get him?
I'm not sure they'll get him, but I think they will go back in again. As I said, football clubs won't put themselves in the position where they're putting themselves out there to be shot down because there will be. That's why they've got agents. There'll be talks of, or there will have been talks taking place beforehand. Would they be interested in coming? Do you think we can get a deal done? And they wouldn't waste their time. They would go elsewhere if they didn't have any inkling that there is a potential for this move to happen. For me, I don't think it's dead in the water yet.
No chance. Where do you sense this going, Clinton? Because, John Duran's gone, and we'll talk quickly about him a little bit later. But if Watkins goes as well, the cupboard up front is looking somewhat bare for Aston Villa. They're into the Champions League last 16, got that top 8 finish. I know Arsenal, of course, were still in the Champions League as well. But from a Villa point of view, yes, money talks, but it doesn't make a whole lot of sense.
No, it don't. And they're linked to the likes of João Felix, Asensio. But these are not players. These are different kind of centre forwards, and they're not out and out centre forwards. They're more like creative players. Ollie Watkins is an out and out number 9 that wants to stretch, wants to go in behind. He's a natural goal scorer. So I'm agreeing with Boydie. This ain't going away. This won't go away. Obviously, they lost John Duran for a lot of money. If Arsenal make a bid for someone, and we know the thing with Arsenal side. So Arsenal are a big football club. If they don't go and get Ollie Watkins in this window, then there's a situation there. They have to try and go put all their monies into that basket to try and go and get Ollie Watkins. If you say that you're such a big football club, try your hardest to go and get it. If you're at 60 million, I don't know what the sum is, but if you go to 80, 90 million, and he's 29 years of age, Aston Villa will have to have second thoughts of it. Hold on, we might have to sell him. I don't think Aston Villa will. They'll be crazy to sell Ollie Watkins. He's so integral to the way they are and the way they play at the moment. But if Arsenal are serious about catching Liverpool, I think they need a number 9, and that is Ollie Watkins.
At 29, is that value, though? The kind of figure.
It's not value. It's not. Of course, it's good value for Aston Villa,
yeah.
But for Arsenal, it's a lot of money.
Yeah.
But if you think here and now you want to challenge Liverpool and you want to compete and win stuff, Ollie Watkins will still go at that level for the next 2 or 3 years because he's fit. He can even go beyond that. So it's not a deteriorating player, but you're not going to make no value on the player. That's what I mean. But for the here and now, I think it would be a good signing. But Villa would be crazy to let him go.
And it's not just about the money, so it's about the colliding of the ambitions of these two big clubs. Villa, big club. So if they let him go to Arsenal, what does that say about the ambitions of Villa?
Yeah, and that's what I don't think Aston Villa will let him go. I think with Duran going as well, I think Ollie Watkins is integral to the way that Aston Villa play. I think we saw the progression of him under Unai Emery, and he's actually spoke about that. He said, I've developed as a player under him. So you think from a player's perspective, he must think, well, I'm getting better all the time.